You ain't nothing but a dog. Play, I get it. Frog.
Ribbit.
I ribbit. This one's for all our frog lovers out there, and we're talking PHROGs.
Frog.
Frogs. We don't fuck with no hound dogs, but
Just some pound frogs.
hound frogs.
I use frogs like a fleshlight.
Oh my god! Have you seen the video of the monkey using a frog to masturbate? No. Oh my god! There's a.
It's like at a zoo, and it's like these people just filming it on like their family camcorder.
No.
And this chimpanzee takes a frog and starts like using its mouth as like a fleshlight.
Are you sure this just wasn't like a fever dream that you had? And
No,
are now remembering?
because I showed it to my ex-boyfriend, and he was so offended by it. He was like so upset.
Is that why you broke up?
It might have been. It might have been.
Oh my god, that's fucking terrifying. I just imagine it like it's like a fucking fleshlight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's horrifying. That's like worse than them flinging their shit at the windows at the zoo.
I know. But have you seen those really cute videos of people doing like magic tricks in front of them?
Yeah,
and they're like,
whoa,
and they go,
free me from this prison.
they go fucking wild. They go bananas.
Well, it's just insane that people take videos of that and they're like, yeah, they deserve to be in a cage. It makes
Right.
sense.
Look at this incredibly intelligent being that's having its mind blown by a magic trick.
That understands the concept of show magic.
It's like, I hate to break it to you, monkeys, but it's not fucking real.
Whoa, Joe. Let's not get crazy. I mean, have you seen the shit that Chris Angel does? That's pretty real to me.
All right, you got me
Man's out
there.
here teleporting. Oh my god,
He
I
can
remember,
teleport his mouth onto my clit.
It is 3:00 in the afternoon. This is a lot.
Sorry.
Tone it down. All right.
I just had a big coffee.
I was gonna say the frog giving someone a mouth job. I almost called it
A mouth job.
because there's a hand job, a blow job. But it reminded me of, we've been watching The Boys on Amazon. For those of you who aren't aware of like what it is, just fucking check it out immediately. I mean, like, finish the podcast, please. But it's basically a satire on superheroes and just the current climate in the US politically and whatnot. And one of the superheroes is kind of like Aquaman. And it's kind of been building up in this most recent season that he
Wants to have sex with an
might
octopus.
want some octopus head.
Octopussy.
Yeah, he might want some of the octopussy. So, they don't got 8 legs for nothing. So he goes to this like annual superhero orgy.
8 legs, 7 vaginas.
No, just one hole. 8 legs, one hole. And so one of the other superheroes on his team finds him there, and he's fucking getting head from an octopus. And then someone attacks the party, whatever, and he has to like run out with the octopus in like a plastic bag full of water.
I know, he's like, shut up. Okay, come on. He's
I
like,
don't want to
talking
hear it right now.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. That show is insane. It's not for the faint of heart, though. The first episode of the new season has a very small guy go inside some guy's urethra and accidentally sneeze and explode him out. So he sneezes and he grows back to normal size on accident, and the guy gets cut in half because of it.
Yep.
So it's a lot, but it's also just the right amount. I've been really fucking eating this show up. And then the most recent episode has been incredible. Jensen Ackles, who is in Supernatural, is in it now, and he's really great. So it's just nice. It's just a good time. It's just a good family friendly.
I was telling Lauren that I think Jensen Ackles plays a racist a little bit too well, if you know what I mean.
Well, he does live in Texas, so
Does he?
I'm pretty sure. Him and Jared Padalecki are, I don't know, they're a little southern, I think.
Shrimp-teresting.
Very, very shrimp-teresting.
Well, anyway, speaking of shrimp-teresting, some fucking crazy shit happened, which we didn't talk about on the last episode because it hadn't even happened yet because we were pre-recording.
We were so innocent and young. Obviously, I'm going to be going to London the first week of July. I'm going to be there, so we had to pre-record a bunch of stuff, and so we had recorded the last episode before the decision about Roe versus Wade came out. Mm-hmm. And of course, don't mention anything about it because we had no idea. And now that it happened, it just felt weird that we didn't discuss it at all. So we're like, now's the time. And I think it is important to discuss, and like, whatever. This is a comedy podcast, quote unquote, but like, life just seems like a big fucking joke right now. So it made sense for us to bring this up.
Yeah, and this directly affects us. So,
so you're going to sit the fuck down and listen to what we got to say.
That's right.
You know, you're taking our rights away. Well, we're going to take your right away to choose whether or not you want to listen to us. To breathe. Jillian's out for blood. No, which is how I felt the fucking morning I found out, because it just felt like I got hit out of nowhere, like out of left field.
It just felt like a fucking waking nightmare.
Yeah. Like every day has for the past couple of years. But particularly because I know that the Supreme Court put that document out being like, we're going to do this. Get ready. And everyone was like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
And then it happened. And I woke up and I was like, is this real? Like, am I still having a nightmare? I was just in shock. And I went through like the 5 stages of grief in like 5 minutes. I wanted to fight someone, but unfortunately there were no striking classes that day, so I had to beat the shit out of someone on Saturday.
Well, you just picked some random person off the street and beat the living shit out of them. So Lauren sent someone to the hospital. It's fine.
They survived. That's what matters.
Right.
I'm not pro-life, so you know, at least I'm honest. All these people saying they're pro-life until the baby pops out the womb. I'm actually anti-life. I want most people around me to die most of the time.
If you are breathing, don't.
Stop. Well, I can think of a handful of people I wish would stop breathing right now, and they all seem to wear the same work uniform and have the same political beliefs. And it's a black cape-like situation
with a little bit of white on the collar.
Mm-hmm. And they're the Supreme Court justices.
Right.
Because what the fuck? I just feel like it's insane that a handful of people could decide the fate of like millions of women just based on their sole opinions.
It's so wild to me that they can just decide laws.
Right. And
like above the fucking president of the United States.
And Joe Biden is just sitting back with his thumb up his ass being like, sorry, y'all, you just better get out there and vote in November. Like, you're the fucking president, my guy. Do literally anything. Add more people to the Supreme Court.
Well, this is why I fucking cannot stand the Democratic platform, because all of the fucking politicians the last, I don't even know how many years, so many Democratic candidates have always said, oh, well, we're going to make Roe v. Wade. We're going to codify it into law. Like,
so it can't be changed. Yeah.
Don't you worry. And they
never fucking did it.
Yeah, they fucking dangled it over our heads like a fucking carrot on a stick. And even now, they could potentially still do it because we are in charge. No, I don't even want to say we. I don't identify as a fucking Democrat. But like they have the Senate, the House, and the fucking presidency, theoretically.
Yeah.
They could fucking do it. And they're not going to.
Yeah. Obviously, also, if you don't want to listen to this, that's totally your prerogative. I know this is a comedy podcast, but this is real fucking serious shit. And it's important that it's talked about. And this is us just giving our feelings and opinions on it. We're not pretending to be experts on the situation, but we're fucking women and this affects us personally. And we're lucky to live in California where there's no imminent threat to us having to deal with this outcome, but who knows what's next. So because there are Supreme Court justices like what, Clarence Thomas or whoever the fuck.
Yeah, some fucking old fart who is so out of touch with the real fucking world.
Yeah, who is now talking about making gay marriage illegal again and leaving it up to quote unquote states' rights, which is just, it brings into question why have a fucking country if each state is its own governing body.
Right. And the horrific irony of them just implementing a federal law that states you can have concealed carried weapons.
Yeah. But abortion isn't covered. And just the fact that there's just been this narrative regarding abortion by Republicans and the right that it's just something that women choose to do on a whimsy, just for funsies, for shits and giggles.
Right.
They get knocked up. They don't use protection. They're like, oh, well, I guess I'll go get an aborty. And then they just pop in there like it's no big deal.
Right.
And it's not an expensive or stressful thing to have to figure out. No.
Well, let's make it clear. You can take a life, just not with your uterus. You have to have a gun.
Yeah. Life begins at conception and ends in a mass shooting.
Right.
As someone tweeted the other day. I just think there's this misconception about what abortion is used for and what the majority of people go get them for and what Planned Parenthood does. And like my mom told me she watched this quote unquote documentary, which like I cringe to think what fucking documentary she saw about how Planned Parenthoods were put in like black neighborhoods. And she's like, yeah, because they're trying to get them to abort their black babies. And I'm like, that's some like deep state conspiracy theory shit. It's because Planned Parenthood is supposed to be a resource for people of any socioeconomic status and for people in neighborhoods that are chronically underfunded in every way. These resources need to be there so they can, use family planning services and birth control services, which is the whole point of Planned Parenthood. They want to reduce the amount of abortions needed by preventing them having to be done in the first place.
Right.
And then they're trying to get birth control banned in general. Like the Supreme Court is going after birth control next. I'm like, why do you think people get abortions? It's because their birth control didn't work or they didn't end up taking it.
Yeah, or they didn't have access to it.
Right. So preventing people from getting a fucking birth control is only going to lead to more people needing it to get an abortion.
Also,
not to mention, whether or not abortion is legal, people are still going to give themselves abortions.
And here's the thing too, with stuff like birth control, it's the same fucking thing. Sometimes it's medically necessary for people to be on birth control because it regulates their hormones and
it makes their period less intense.
Right.
Horrific.
It fucking makes their life livable.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
There are people who are trying to get pregnant who need to have an abortion if they have an ectopic pregnancy or a miscarriage. And it almost feels like, and now the criminalization of people looking to get an abortion when it's just a simple health procedure that like saves the mom involved. Like if you had a miscarriage and you showed up at a clinic in Texas, they could accuse you of trying to give yourself an abortion when you just had a natural fucking miscarriage, and then they could put you in fucking jail for that.
Right.
And then the differences in jail sentences with doctors who give abortions in these states that are now banning them, putting doctors away for 100 years. Meanwhile, someone who rapes an unconscious girl behind a dumpster gets 6 months. It tells you everything you need to know about what they're prioritizing and who's currently in charge.
Yeah, and someone on Twitter phrased it perfectly where it's like, if this was really about life, then there would be universal health care, there would be systems in place that help impoverished families, or resources for women who are struggling to support their children. Like,
right. They only care about life before it is born.
Yeah.
And then once it is, they could give two shits.
Yeah, because then when there are families on welfare programs, all Republicans fucking do is bitch about the fact that they're on welfare. They're like, oh, these damn people taking advantage of these welfare programs.
These people that we forced to have 10 kids when we stripped them of their right to get birth control or abortions.
Right. And then they're like, oh, these families are so big. Haven't they heard of using a fucking condom? It's like, wow. Good. Like, go fucking kill yourself, honestly.
Like, it's the biggest fucking Scooby-Doo ass mystery to them why these things are happening and why all these why people are homeless and can't afford to fucking pay their rent and all this shit.
I got to take it back because that it's not true. The right does care about children's lives, and they actually crafted a really wonderful plan to replenish the recently decreased child population due to mass shootings. So their solution was forced birth, to make up for all the kids that are being slaughtered in school.
I do have to say this is a really unprecedented solution that they have brought up.
Right,
You know,
it's
they saw these kids getting just absolutely murdered in cold blood. You know, in elementary school, just walking around doing their day-to-day lives. You know, this person comes in and all of a sudden these kids are dead. I can't seem to wrap my head around what could prevent this from happening in the future. Could it be we need more cops in schools? Could it be there only needs to be one exit or entrance? No, you know what? I have the perfect solution because we've tried all that and none of it works. And it can't be the guns because guns don't kill people. People kill people with guns.
Yep, exactly.
So there's only one real solution, and that's just to replenish the child population.
Like, don't worry. We can make more. We'll just make women have more babies.
Your child is replaceable. I know you don't believe that now, but trust me, we get the right clothes on it. We do their hair up a little bit. You won't know the difference.
Exactly. You can replace little Billy and just have Billy the second.
Right. Billy too. I don't know. It's just nuts because, you know, after Uvalde happened, obviously Republicans were coming up with all these absolute batshit insane quote unquote solutions.
Giving teachers guns.
You know. And my mom was saying some shit about that. And she's not pro-gun. Like, she's pro-gun control and background checks. And I told her because I saw this John Oliver bit that he did on school police. And that actually increases the risk of violent accidents happening in schools, is having police with guns in schools. And it leads to kids arrest. Like, this kid with autism was arrested because he scratched his name into the sidewalk. Like, insane shit is going down when more police are introduced into schools.
Almost like they don't fucking help at all.
And it's almost like they're expected to do jobs that they're not equipped for, like be a counselor. Like, that was shit that was explicitly listed as like their expected duty. They didn't fucking become a cop to be a counselor.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the other joke is like, imagine, you know, going to school to get your master's in education and you're like, I can't wait to be a kindergarten teacher. And then you get there on your first day, they give you the keys to your classroom and they hand you a fucking Glock and they're like, this is for you. You can like customize it if you want, you know, like bedazzle it or whatever.
Some teachers like to put their names on it or the animal or the classroom's mascot, like the monkeys or the whales, you know.
Right.
And don't be afraid to wave it at little Billy if he's acting up.
Yeah.
You know, playing a fun game of Russian roulette during during
feel
recess.
Like getting a little spicy.
You know, kids love that kind of stuff, but there's so much ass backward logic. It's a stretch to even call it logic of any kind.
It just makes me incredibly fucking angry that this political platform of like the Republicans has just been like commandeered with like Christianity because they're just fucking.
They don't give a fuck either, though. That's the thing.
I know. They don't. First of all, Republicans don't give a fuck.
No.
And any attempt that they make to like reach out to like Christian crowds and connect with them,
transparently bad, dude.
Yeah,
it's so
it's
obvious.
hollow. It's phony. They're just using you to get your fucking vote, and also, it's disturbing that this religious belief is being shoved down everybody's fucking throat. Like, what 100%. If you're Jewish or Buddhist or not religious at all? Like,
you're Muslim. Like, and the fact is too, they're just straight up Islamophobic because they're like, well, Islam is fucking sexist. And meanwhile, Islam, I'm pretty sure you were saying that abortion is okay.
Yeah, if it endangers the life of the mother, then it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Also, abortion is never mentioned in the Bible. I just thought I'd bring that up. But no, it was because it was intertwined in the 70s, particularly. I did a whole speech on this in high school, but just about the separation of church and state and how it basically doesn't exist. But the meshing of like Christianity and Catholicism with the political right kind of started in that time period. And before, they didn't give a fuck. Like, they didn't bring up abortion at all. And then once they found out that was an issue people cared about, which is then again like a recent development, they were like, oh, let's just fucking get all these people on our side and we'll pretend like we give a fuck about abortion. Meanwhile, we're paying for our daughters like Ivanka Trump to get an abortion.
Yeah.
All this shit is coming out about their hypocrisy and about how they obviously need abortion to exist, but they're just pulling these things to get votes and money and power.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but that's exactly what the left is doing too with abortion, because they keep saying, oh, we'll codify it, don't worry.
And they haven't done shit. Now it's like, it's too late.
Yeah. And also, for all intents and purposes, Joe Biden might as well be a fucking Republican.
Joe Biden. He's like, all the mixtures of like chaotic good, chaotic evil, whatever. He's like chaotic neutral because he isn't doing anything and it's just making things worse. Like, obviously it's better than someone who's actively harming people, but it's almost like by not doing anything, you're doing the same thing.
All he's done is raise gas prices. Like, thanks, Joe.
All he's done is spread his gases all over the White House. I mean, just every step. God
Joe,
damn it,
enough.
Joe. God, we got to start plugging a cork up there.
Sorry about that.
It's like, what? Did y'all hear something? But no, we were just talking about the hypocrisy of...
You did it, Joe. You pooped your pants.
You poop and farted, Joe.
Oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that.
I'm gonna need another diaper.
Joe, that was such a big one.
Joe, you killed one of your dogs, Joe. Oh, again? Get the replacement.
Which one? I have a dog.
One of your Deutsche Shepherds. Anyway, going back to what we were saying about just the hypocrisy of a party who's like, yeah, we're pro-life. And you can tell that they obviously are just saying that just to get fucking followers because they're not pro-life in any other sense of the word.
Yeah.
And just the irony of them being like, we're going to ban birth control. We're going to ban abortions. We're going to ban gay marriage. We're going to ban all this shit. But then all of a sudden, bans don't work when it comes to guns.
Exactly.
It's just all a bunch of hypocrisy, and it's just power corrupting people who just want fucking money. And the fact that people are like thinking this is about life when it's really just about controlling women and treating us like fucking walking incubators. It's honestly disturbing. And to see women getting tear gassed in Utah from fucking cops who are too lazy to even go outside. They're just like in the windows of this Capitol building.
Fucking cowards.
Shooting off tear gas rockets at people, and the people on Twitter being like, Antifa is here and they are ready. They're saying burn it down. Like, do you really think that's a literal phrase, my guy?
They're like, the left said eat the rich. They're cannibals. My God.
I see forks and knives. Run.
They got mad cow disease.
They got napkins tucked into their shirts. They're coming for us.
They got fancy bibs. And after dinner mints.
They got Mitch McConnell on a spit roast with an apple in his mouth.
He looks delicious, but my God, we need to get out of here. I just feel like not only is the Supreme Court stupid and outdated, it's like
they're dumb.
They're dumb and they're ugly.
Out of touch.
And they're big, poopy face buttheads. No, like all the old farts that are fucking in Congress too, like that don't even know how to write their own fucking emails, you know?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Because they're so goddamn geriatric. Like,
what's a PDF?
I don't even know what a JPEG is.
Is that a sexual act that the homos do?
Those gay people. I just feel like it's such a joke that we let these old fucks run the country. And
it's almost like we haven't had a choice for the past multiple decades of who to vote for. I don't know. It's insane, and I just feel like I'm slowly losing my mind and rights every day. And it's just so disheartening because you look back like 5 or so years ago, people were whining and be like, "Are you crying because Trump won? What are you gonna do? Lose your rights?" And then fucking flash forward 5 years and like,
yes,
yeah, bitch, I am.
I did,
dude. I mean, we joke about all this shit, but it's just coming from like real fucking traumatic shit. Like reading stories on Twitter about women who weren't able to get legal abortions drinking like an herbal mixture.
Oh my God, I know.
And then bleeding out. The point is, if let's say we're playing to conservatives' beliefs, right? If abortion is evil, legal abortion is a necessary evil. That's obviously putting it in their frame of reference for what they think abortion is, right?
Yeah.
It is an inevitability of life as a human person.
Yeah.
If you have a miscarriage, an ectopic pregnancy, you might need one.
Yeah.
If birth control fails, if you were raped, or in cases of incest, it is always going to be a necessity. And so the fact that that is not protected anymore, and there's a possibility for women to put their own lives at risk by doing this procedure, attempting to do it by themselves or under the table.
Yeah.
It's just, it is never not going to be a necessity. So to assume otherwise and to play dumb,
Right.
you're doing more harm than good. If you're just going to pretend like quote unquote banning abortion or leaving it up to the states is going to mean there's no more abortion, you're lying to yourself.
And you're stupid. I mean, it's like Republicans are like, well, that takes care of that.
We checked off another one.
I think what's so crazy to me about it is like Republicans are so hypocritical for a multitude of reasons, but they, you know, the past 2 years they've been fucking throwing insane tantrums over masks and vaccines and everything.
Oh my God,
like,
don't even get me started.
It's my choice. You can't force me to wear a mask.
And I know they did that in jest. They stole the My Body, My Choice thing,
right,
to mock people who are pro-choice.
But it's so fucking insane to me, you know. It's like, if you don't, as a Republican, if you don't like gay marriage, don't get a gay marriage. If you don't like abortion, don't have an abortion.
Well, one thing on the mask thing too, it's like, if you feel uncomfortable being quote unquote forced to wear a mask, imagine how uncomfortable someone would be if they were forced to give birth
and forced to carry a child for 9
months and all the health issues that come with that. But what were you just saying about?
Oh, if you don't like it, then don't fucking do it.
Oh, so I was talking to my bosses about this too, and they don't come from Christian or hyper religious backgrounds. Their parents have the same political views as them, so they don't really have the mindset to understand where these people are coming from. You and I grew up in conservative households, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we sort of understand that mindset, and I can tell you why religious people think that way. It's because they've been told that that set of beliefs is the one and only way to live your life, and the only thing to believe in. And anyone else is sinning and is going against God. And it's like, if they see abortion as murder, it's the same way people see murder as murder. It's like, well, that should be outlawed. No one should be killing people. If they see an abortion as killing a baby, they're going to think, well, no one should have the right to do that.
Right. Because they get on this fucking moral high horse of having to police everybody.
Oh, they love police.
Yes, they do. Like, I don't want to out this person, but like someone in my family was talking about how like, oh, it's such a shame that generations nowadays are not as religious anymore.
Is it really? Is
like,
it really a shame?
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone's being forced into fucking Christianity bullshit right now. So,
well, yeah, no, I mean, separation of church and state is a swell idea, but it is a myth in the United States.
Yeah. I think it's also disheartening when you see this type of stuff happening and there's not a lot of like cis straight. Well, I don't even want to single out like straight people, but like cis men are just
being supportive. Yeah. They're not being supportive.
I've seen a few, and there are some people that like I saw post on their Instagram stories about things and whatever, and like someone reached out to me like when I posted something on my story and was like, this is really sad.
That's nice. I'm gaslit by my own family.
Well,
I call and try to have these conversations, and like my dad doesn't have anything to say, my brother doesn't have anything to say. There's no like,
I know.
I'm sorry you're going through this.
I just didn't even talk about it with my family because I knew that they're all fucking cheering, being like, yes, we did it.
Yeah. It's horrific to think about, and it's incredibly alienating. Even though we live in LA and like you go anywhere and like you're probably going to find people who you generally agree with. I was just talking about, this reminded me of of a conversation we kind of just had earlier, but politically, like I feel like LA is very much like that, and everyone seems to be on the same page, but obviously that's not the case. It's a big city. Anyone can have any beliefs.
Right.
And so we're talking to this person today, and they were just saying, with everything going on, it's just really important to protect your energy.
Yeah,
and
spread positivity.
and love, and we all
Yeah.
need to be there for each other. And I just the concept of thinking you're on the same page with someone and that you're talking about the same topic and you're in agreement, and then all of a sudden it comes out that they're fucking like alt-right, like
Right,
you know what I mean?
Like,
They're talking, yeah.
With everything going on, it's just there's so much hate in the world, and
You're like, yeah, I agree.
yeah, you just got to spread positivity, spread the light. Like hopefully with the Roe v. Wade thing going on, hopefully the next step is eliminating gay marriage.
You're like, what?
Whoa, hold on a minute.
I'm sorry. You think that's gonna solve things? And they're like, absolutely. What were you saying?
Society started disintegrating the moment those F words got the ability to marry each other.
Could wed. I just think that that's so fucking funny to think about, because like I feel like everyone now is trying to be very vague when they're talking about politics, and like all this shit going on right now, it's insane. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Like Roe versus Wade, they're like, I know. Like, the fact that it took this long to overturn is just nuts. Yeah. These Democrats have just ruined everything. Oh Jesus. Oh, and then you have the fucking woman who was giving that speech at the Donald Trump rally thing. This is like the black and blue versus white and gold dress debate, because it's like, is it a Freudian slip or is it not? But she was saying it was like a Donald Trump Save America rally. She was going up, and it was the day after Roe versus Wade got overturned, and she's like, I just want to say huge thank you, congratulations to Donald Trump for yesterday's groundbreaking victory in protecting white lives. And you can kind of listen to it and think like, oh, she meant to just say lives. But regardless of what she said or didn't say or what she meant to say white life.
I think she was thinking that for sure.
It's a victory for white
lives. Because we get to keep black people impoverished.
That's the thing. That's what we were also talking about. Every decision that's being made is to keep the status quo.
Yeah.
And to keep poor people poor and out of power. And it's just fucking horrific. And it feels like, I know this is a tired metaphor, simile, whatever, but it feels like this fucking Handmaid's Tale prequels.
No, I know.
Like the flashbacks.
I know.
Like they just took footage from now.
Ironically, I had a gynecologist appointment the day of Roe v. Wade getting overturned. And
your doctor stops midway through. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't be doing this.
Yeah, I have to leave. No,
you're just like spread open on the table naked and fucking alone in the clinic. You have to walk out.
The speculum still in there.
You walk out with the speculum hanging out of your pussy.
I do like the wide leg cowboy walk out. So the office that I typically go to is it's two main doctors, and one is a man and the other's a woman. And I usually see the woman just because I'm like, I feel like I would rather have like a woman looking at my bits.
Well, you got a man up in there most of the time.
Right.
So you need some variety.
Yeah. And,
equal employment.
Right.
Equal
exactly.
opportunity.
Equal opportunity up in this pussy. So the only person available for the appointment was the man. And he...
Boo.
Yeah. Boo. Ew. No, but I get on the table... And I'm like in a robe that's like very, revealing.
I want you to tell this like you're writing an erotic fiction. I get up on the cold steel
hard table. And my nipples are piercing through the thin robe that they delicately draped over my body.
You can continue. You can move on. Okay. I was like, I'm not going to force you.
Okay. So anyway, he's like, he gets me on the table. He like spreads open my legs.
My foot-long nipples were perky.
My udders. He's like doing the, swabbing around or whatever. And then I was asking him like when I should start getting a mammogram.
Sorry. Swabbing around Jillian's pussy. At the fucking
It's pretty bloody.
Okay, so he got you up on the table. He's scraping around.
Right. Scraping around. like when you like scoop out the seeds from a pumpkin. And I was asking him when I need to get mammograms done because my mom had breast cancer, and he was like, well, usually they start when you're 40, but because your mom had breast cancer at 45,
He's like, I would start, how old are you?
25.
I would start when you're 25.
Here, let me do it. No, he was like, well, you start when you're 35, but I'm going to show you how to, maintain your own exams just so you're familiar with your breasts and everything. So
I just like to picture that he's demonstrating on his own man tits and not on you.
He's like, you're going to want to do this with your nipples.
Unbuttons his shirt them in a circle, his hairy chest, and he fucking puts like that UV lube. And like, so yeah, you're gonna want to give him a nice rub. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited.
Oh, sorry.
It's been a while.
Got a little carried away. I like lean back on the table and he like opens up my robe, and god damn, this man is just like going ham on my boobies, and he's
slapping
like,
them back and forth,
maintaining like direct eye contact as he's like feeling my boobs. He's like, so you want to see this area feels the same as this area, and then he like
not blinking.
Yeah. And then he's like, and you also want to like,
Wait, I joked about that. Was he actually maintaining eye
yes,
contact?
he was. Like complete eye contact. And
goodbye.
And then he's like, also, you want to just like be aware of any like physical appearance changes. Like if one suddenly, like if you get like a puckering sort of like look, and he kind of like pushed in my boob. And then he's like, also, you might notice like, what if your nipple starts like, concaving inwards, and he fucking forces his finger right into my nip. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Oh, that's horrific.
I know, dude. He was like fucking manhandling my breasts.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't feel like weird about it because I know.
Do you need a degree for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm an FBI agent, a federal booby inspector.
That's fucking insane. I haven't gotten a mammogram. I honestly feel like I'm afraid to touch my own boobs because I feel like it's gonna hurt. But yeah, knowing that it's genetic, I'm like, I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Well, so my mom's breast cancer wasn't genetic because she got genetically tested for it. But I'm thinking that colon cancer seems to run in our family.
Jesus. It's also a lot of it is diet related because meat tends to sit in your colon for days and rot. And there's been some sort of a correlation between that and colon cancer.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I'm going to stick with the veggie sausages. Thank you.
Yeah.
In men and food. I only date vegan men.
I want a big vegan man made of Beyond Beef.
Speaking of dating only particular men, I just wanted to end the episode with a lovely story. Stop farting. That our friend Brittany experienced. She went to go celebrate her birthday. She's a Gemini, by the way, in case you couldn't tell from her episode, which go fucking listen because she's amazing. But she went to go celebrate her birthday in Big Bear. Her friend is dating a guy who I think rents out a cabin up there, and so they stayed for like a day or two. And she met this guy at this bar up there. They like had a date, whatever, hooked up. It was seemingly great. And then she tried to text him afterwards and he just wasn't really responsive.
Ew.
Well, right. And so she was like, okay, whatever. So out of the blue one day, he texts her a picture of like this candy Brittany said, this really specific candy that she said she likes. And he's like trying to make a Brittany trap or whatever, like to get her back basically. And Brittany's like, what the fuck? And so she texted him. She's like, hey, what is this? Because like you didn't respond to me and now it seems like you want me back. And he's also being obviously like, I'm trying to, because he texted her explicitly after their date or whatever. He's like, I want more, ! And that was it. That was all he fucking texted her. And he texted her that once or twice after they got together. I want more. Like she's a fucking like,
more! Give me more! Give me more! But no, I want more! Mommy Mickey.
So look, she's telling me he's just fucking texting her like a caveman, right? And I'm gonna pause and find the text that she sent me, because he sent her this fucking picture, I guess as an attempt at a joke.
Oh no.
An attempt to like get her back. And it is the most fucking serial killer.
It's not the candy thing?
No. It is the most fucking serial killer, out of touch, insane bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. So let me pause it and find the picture. But so this is what the guy sent to Brittany.
Okay. It's horrible handwriting. It's like he took a whole page to write all of this.
To scribble it like a third grader.
Right. Okay. Michael's plan to get Britt to come back without the help of the full moon. And by the way, he like capitalized random words.
Yeah.
In handwriting. I get that when you're texting, but in handwriting?
Yeah.
Anyway. 1, sweet tart ropes. 2, dick, good dick. And it's crossed out, and in parentheses it said didn't work. Oh, that's pretty bold to admit that, brother. 3, witty conversation. 4, alcohol? ?
And he sent this to her after she was like, nah, dude, like, wasn't feeling it. And like told me that the dick wasn't good, so can confirm. But he was like, God. Honestly, like, my fucking worldview changed after we hooked up. Like, that was all I could think about. And then she gets this fucking ransom note looking fucking text.
Dude, I think we need to call the FBI. That man is a danger to himself and society.
It's like,
I want to know in what part of his small pea brain he thought that was remotely okay and or like romantic. Maybe he's just dumb. And his
I think, yeah, of course.
attractiveness has just worked out for him his whole life.
That's what my theory is. But I was like, I read that note and it felt like a ransom note, like a threat. You know what I mean? Like, if Brittany, we have your brother hostage.
Yeah, if you don't come back, we're gonna kill your fucking cat.
If you don't give me some of that ass, we're killing your cat, Toes.
I'm gonna kill your cat and nail his corpse to your doorstep. I'll send you one cat paw at a time.
One fucking toe bean. I'll put your cat toast in the toaster. You asked for this.
Oh my God.
It's insane. She also had another date with another guy who was like, this was their first time meeting. And she'd hung out with me for a bit that night. We grabbed dinner and it was like 11. And she was like, yeah, we can go to a bar or something. He's like, how about car drinks? And I was like, sorry? Car drinks?
Illegal, sir. You cannot drink alcoholic beverages in a car.
Like, sitting in a car at night. It's just like, just say you're trying to fuck, my guy. And that's ultimately all he did, because the next day after they got drinks at a bar and like talked, because she was like, you know what? No, I deserve to fucking go meet you at a bar, not in your random ass car. The next day he texted her asking for ass pics.
Oh my God. Men are like, just not even discreet about it anymore. I mean, they never were, but they're just like, hey, I had a great time at the bar. Ass pics now.
Booty pics ahora. And then she didn't respond, but it's like, come on, my guy.
God.
And they were messaging for 2 weeks.
That's insane.
And he didn't just come out with it. Men, come right the fuck out with it. What do you want? Don't be afraid.
We want ass pics.
We want ass. All my neighbors fucking respond. We want ass pics. Give me a tit pic. Just be honest and upfront.
Put me in my car and send me ass pics.
Because this isn't, let's drink warm beers in my Chevy, fucking my Honda. I was going to make a car joke, but I don't know cars.
My Dodge Ram.
I was a Chevy Sonata. Honda Sonata. Hyundai.
My Honda Accord.
my Ford Buick. But it's just like, just be transparent, because women, guys, it's not the fucking 50s anymore. We don't have to do this bullshit courting thing.
Also, I think women can kind of smell your intentions from a mile away usually.
Right.
So if you're a fucking creep, then...
If they can smell you from a mile away too, you might look into working on your hygiene.
Right. Maybe take a shower.
But I don't know, Jill. I'm feeling a little striky ever since the whole Roe v. Wade situation happened. I'm thinking maybe men don't deserve sex until we get our rights back.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I say we go on a pussy strike.
All right, women, tape up your vaginas.
It's time to put on those chastity belts, girls.
Get your hot glue. Not like I was getting any anyway, but that was my fucking decision.
I'm voluntarily celibate.
I'm going to continue rejecting dick.
It's time to lock that shit up. No more poontang until we have equality.
Men, if you want that poontang, if you want that pootie tang, you better fucking get out and vote. You know Joe Biden's not getting any.
Oh, girl, his dick probably doesn't even work.
No, I know you're right though. That's why he's like he's nothing on the line. He's nothing to lose. It's like, sure, let Roe v. Wade be overturned. It's not like I'm gonna get any pussy anyway.
Jill, your pussy is so dried up and old, you couldn't hold life in there even if you wanted to. The only thing living in there is a colony of yeast.
A colony of yeast?
Like yeast bacteria?
No, I get it. God damn, I mean, you could start your own independent brewery with that pussy.
The only thing living in there is them spiders with those cobwebs. Why did he turn into Bill Clinton?
They're all the same. They're all the same, man. They are all the same. No, Jill was probably like telling Joe, like, she's like the fucking in The Boys, the deep. He was in a cult for a bit and then got out, and he has this fucking wife who's basically telling him everything and like what to do in terms of like the political moves he makes. I just picture fucking Jill whispering in Joe's ear, be like, "Let it happen."
Take away their rights.
It's like their fucking BDSM ritual.
Oh God.
They're like, be the most milquetoast president there ever was, Joe.
Be spineless, you piece of shit. It's like, yeah, say it again.
Get the closest you possibly can to not existing at all, Joe.
He's like, no, say it again. I couldn't hear you.
What? You know, these summer days remind me of when I used to go in the pool and the kids would dive underneath the water and move my leg hair up and down and up and down. Sometimes they'd braid it. Those are the best times of my life. Vote Democrat this November. Do you remember that interview? Do you remember that interview? The world is burning. All right, y'all. If you never hear from me again, it's because I didn't come back from London of my own volition.
I almost didn't come back from Europe, honestly.
Dude, I would not have blamed you. But you know, if any of y'all have plans to leave this fucking hellhole, let us know, because we might join you.
Let's start a commune in a different country.
Just illegally.
Yeah.
Immigrate. Yeah. You know what? I'm down for whatever at this point. I might just sneak across the border to Canada and hide out in the woods.
That sounds cool to me.
Build a shack.
Hook up with Bigfoot.
Braid my pubic hair into
you know what they say.
Roof.
You know what they say about big feet.
What, Jill?
A massively large cock.
That's our show. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks where Jillian will be giving birth to the fucking Bigfoot baby that she has so desperately wanted for the past 5 years. She saw them feet. You know, we went on a trip to the woods one time. We went up to Big Bear.
It was
love some big
love at first sight of
big balls.
Big toe.
Big toe. You know what they say? Big toe, big balls. Good night, everybody.
Bye.